Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and in this video I'm going to show you how to fly the approach in the Antonov 225. We're about passing 10,000 feet altitude, so let's put it into pitch hold and start reducing our rate of descent in order to lose our airspeed. I'm going to disconnect the auto throttle here and set the thrust levers all the way to idle, and we'll resume a very shallow descent so that we can lose our airspeed. Our target below 10,000 should be 460 kilometers an hour, which equals roughly 250 knots. Once we've reached our target speed below 10,000, personally, I favor using the speed mode of the autopilot, which more or less equals the level change mode in the Boeing 737. Okay, we're reaching our target, so let's go to speed stabilization. We'll also assume that further descent clearance is received from air traffic control all the way down to our platform altitude. So let's set the altitude down to about 3,000 feet, which equals roughly 1,000 meters. At the same moment, we've gotten a direct from air traffic control to the final approach fix, making our life a little bit easier today. So let's go all the way direct to, let's make it the waypoint before the FAB, Delta Papa 442, activate. What you will notice is that the AN225 does not descend all that quickly. In a turn it can give us a lovely 2,000 feet a minute, but there are times where the airplane would only give us roughly 1,000 feet a minute, as we are going to see. Also, below 100, keep in mind to switch on your landing lights and to extend the lights as well. You might as well switch on the remainder of the lights at this particular point in time. So, we need to keep in mind that we still have to reduce our airspeed, so we've got to keep an eye on our vertical track. If we need to expedite the descent below flight level 100, we need to be either very careful with our speed brakes, or we need to use the pitch hold mode in order to reduce our rate of descent. Now, or rather to increase our rate of descent. Now, a very good thing for us to do is to run some cross-checks over here. So, the waypoint we have is 12 miles out from our landing runway. That means we want to be approximately at 4,000. It's in 10 nautical miles, so we need to lose 2,000 feet in 10 miles, so that gives us our rough rate of descent that we need. However, keep in mind, we also need to reduce our airspeed, and the Antonov recommended procedure is to be level at the platform 5 miles prior to the start of the ILS, and at 250 knots or 460 kilometers an hour. From there, the airplane is capable of doing a very nice idle thrust descent. So we're going to fly it all the way down to 1,000 meters of altitude and aim to start our speed reduction 5 miles from the final approach fix. As we can see in the GPS, the final approach fix is GAMCO, and we have 4 miles beyond Delta Papa 442, in other words, 1 mile inbound to 442, we want to be level at an altitude of 3,000 feet and a speed of 460 kilometers per hour. There is no flap extension schedule published for the Antonov 225. Basically, as soon as you are below the maximum speed for the flap setting, you are allowed to extend the flaps into the required position. And that is pretty much exactly what we want to do on this approach. At this moment I'm going to re-engage the auto throttle into a speed of 460 kilometers an hour so that we can get our nice deceleration schedule. Also, at this moment, it might be a good idea to start switching over to approach logic. So let's go ahead and match our heading up here. Now I'm going to put the airplane into heading select. We are now 1 mile before Gamco, so let's start our speed reduction. And by putting the airplane into heading select over here, we can now switch to localizer mode on the EFD. With that, we can go to approach mode and arm it, and now the airplane is going to track the ILS for us. As soon as our speed is below 463 km an hour, which it is right now, we can start extending flaps 2. And we can already arm our speed brake. Once the speed drops to below 416 km per hour, we can extend flaps 15, which I'm going to do right now. Basically, by the moment you intercept the glide slope, you want to have flaps 15 extended the very latest. Otherwise, it might be difficult for you to control your airspeed. The approach speed basically once again is the blue bug on the altimeter, and I'm going to set the speed target all the way down to there. Our speed has now dropped below 398 km an hour, so we can extend flaps 25, and I'm going to lower the landing gear. Let's go ahead and disengage the autopilot, and we're going to fly the remainder of the approach manually, as is recommended by Antonov. Keep in mind, the autopilot was never fully developed in this airplane, so a lot of stuff still has to be done manually. I've now disconnected autopilot and autothrottle, and as you can see, we are a tiny bit above the glide slope, and even that makes it very difficult to slow our airplane down. We are currently in flaps 25 and the landing gear is down, and as soon as the landing gear is extended and the light is showing, we actually put the lever back into the neutral position and we put the guard back in place. So that's all done now. Once our speed is below 370 km per hour, we are going to extend our flaps into the landing position, and with that we have completed our approach preparation. The blue bug basically is the approach speed, but here are some general speed schedules that you can use for flying your Antonov. With a landing weight of 250 tons, which is basically empty weight, you will need an approach speed of 232 km per hour. At 350 tons, you will need about 240 km per hour. At 450 tons, you will need 259 km per hour, and at 550 tons, 277. Okay, we are below 370, so the flaps can go into the landing position. The plane is ballooning a little bit, so you need to correct for that, and our speed is coming down very nicely over here. Okay, we're on speed right now. And we are just about going through the landing gate. Fully stabilized. The lights are all turned on, and with that, we are prepared for our landing. There is no radio altimeter callouts in this airplane, and there is also no minimums callout. So, in real life, one of the crew members in the back would do those callouts for you. In the simulator, unfortunately, that doesn't happen, so we have to judge the flare and have a look at the radio altimeter for the minimums ourselves. Keep in mind, the amber box down here is our minimums indications. Basically, when the radio altimeter reads 20 meters, that is a good point to start the flare in this airplane. Minimums, continue. Okay, that's 20 on the radio. Slowly start the flare, thrust to idle, and you will actually see the plane flares very nicely, and we are down. Okay, speed brake up, thrust reverse normal, brake as needed, and we can use maximum reverse all the way until we are at 130 kilometers per hour. Once we reach 130 kilometers an hour, we need to stow our reversers, or at least go back towards idle reverse. So that's basically now. Personally, I do not favor to use high-speed exits with this airplane if it means we need to make a more than 90-degree turn onto the adjacent taxiway, as that might be impossible for this airplane to do. So I rather take the 90-degree exit that we have over here and then vacate the runway to the right. And here we go. Congratulations, you have successfully achieved your first landing in the Antonov 225. Now, I'm going to show you how we taxi this plane in, and for the taxi procedures themselves, please refer to the taxi tutorial that was published as part of the earlier tutorial series. For the shutdown of the airplane, that's going to be a separate video, so I would already like to thank you very much for watching. Hope that you've learned something today. And finally, let's quickly cover the after landing items in this one as well. Don't do too many things at a time, but now that we are safely on the taxiway, we can go ahead with the after landing items. So we're going to switch the D&E bus and the window heat off, and that goes for both sides. Of course, we're going to switch off the lights as required. Strobe light off. The landing lights can go to the taxi position, and we can put the wing lights and the body lights off. The flaps can be retracted, reverser stowed, and the speed brake can be brought back to the up position. With that completed, we quickly need to go to the flight engineers panel. In order to start the APU, we're going to turn off the fuel heaters, turn on the fire detectors, APU master switch and the starter, and we do the same on the other hand side as well. Okay, with that our after landing procedures are complete. Now we taxi the airplane in as normal. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you again on the shutdown tutorial video. If you want to support the channel, you can do that using the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below, or by becoming a channel member, which is going to give you exclusive early access to new videos before they are released to the general public. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again soon.